Hey guys, welcome to another video in my little area in the corner of my room. Today, I kind of just wanted to go through some thoughts that I've had on my mind over the past few days. Um, so, oh, oh, hey, thanks.
No problem.
Um, yeah, my long-haired counterpart just brought me the smoothie that he made. Let's try it. Pineapple mango. Not bad. Anyways, like my long-haired counterpart, go get yourself something to drink, something to eat or something while we sit down and chat. Just want to share some things that I've been thinking about lately. The first of these is going to be a story actually from a couple weeks ago. So let me give you all some backstory. Pretty recently, I would say over the past month, I've gotten into these YouTube videos that are very cinematic and very adventure-y. The two channels that I'm specifically talking about are Valspar Family and Hey X Natalie. We'll leave a link in the description to both of those channels. You should definitely check them out. They're super great people, and the videos they make are absolutely just mind-blowing. I don't really understand how they do it, but I love them a lot, so definitely check those videos out. But I myself became really inspired to try and make one of those kinds of videos, and to do that I decided that I was going to go on a little day trip with my brother. And it was kind of a spontaneous thing. We had decided the date and where we were going, what we were gonna do, what we were gonna eat. Scratch that. We did not decide what we were gonna do, but we decided everything else. And we went on the trip. It was a lot of fun. Went to this city called Athens in Texas, where there was absolutely nothing to do, and it was a lot farther away than we had expected it to be. And then we went to White Rock Lake, which is kind of outside Dallas. And we had a little picnic dinner where we ate smoked salmon on bagels with cream cheese and lettuce. And it was really good. And we watched the sunset, kind of. But after that, we went and got a couple pies, or a couple slices of pie from a shop in downtown Dallas before heading back home. Filmed all of this, got a lot of clips. The next day, I filmed some clips for a video that I was going to enter into a video contest. So I got all that filming done. And then, so this was a Saturday and Sunday thing. So Saturday was a day trip. Sunday was when I filmed the clips for my video contest. The next day, Monday, I was going to get started on editing both of these videos. And I'm going to take a break because this is a good smoothie. So yeah, I was gonna get started on editing, but before that, I had this thought of getting an external hard drive to store all of my clips and all my videos rather than using my SD cards and USB, because those fill up pretty quickly. So I'd been looking online for some, and then I remembered my older brother has Wait, how do I? Okay, so my older brother, when he was in high school, had this laptop, and it broke after a while. But we kept it in hopes that maybe it'll work in the future. But recently, he kind of took it apart and took the hard drive out, and kind of got a thing so that we could get access to it and stuff. And I'd asked him if I could have that hard drive if he wasn't going to use it, and he said yes. But I would just have to wipe its memory and then reconfigure it so that it works with Mac devices. So I looked up how to do that, and I was about to do that. And now this is where it gets a bit complicated. I had my SD card plugged into my laptop as well as this hard drive. And my SD card I was dumb when I got it and never like renamed it, so it was just Untitled in my laptop. It was an Untitled location, and the hard drive was also plugged into my laptop, but I didn't realize I had to turn on the hard drive. So the only thing that showed up in my laptop was the SD card that is Untitled, and I was a bit confused, and I thought that the hard drive would have a name for itself instead of Untitled, because at this point I thought the Untitled item was the hard drive. And so I opened it up and was about to erase its memory, and then I noticed that my laptop said this Untitled item only had 128 gigs of memory. And I thought that was really interesting and really weird, because the other day, like when I had looked at my brother's hard drive, it said 500 gigs. And, in my mind, I was like, this is weird. But I went ahead and erased its memory anyways, like permanent deleted all the files and reconfigured it to like the Mac system. And then after that, I looked at the hard drive and I realized that it was off instead of on. And then I realized my SD card was plugged into my laptop. And that meant I had just permanently deleted all the clips that were on my SD card, including the ones from when I started using it back in July. So all the clips I had from July and August, especially like the 2 videos that I was about to start editing, were all gone. And I realized that, and I was like, well, frick. I just majorly screwed up. And I started panicking a little bit in my head. And then I just decided like I would search up if there was a way to possibly recover these files. And I found an app that claims that like it could find all your files even if they've been deleted for years and years. So I downloaded the free version on my laptop, and it spent some time looking through the SD card, and it found all my files. But then the next part was like, in order to actually recover them, I'd have to pay for the premium version. And I did. And then it tried to recover all my files, and it did. It got all of them like back onto my hard drive, but then I couldn't access any of the video files afterwards. And upon later research, I found that this was a problem many others had experienced with this app. So I'm starting to think that it was like a scam, but I had lost all of my files from the past really 2 months. Even though there were clips on there that I've already used in other videos, like there are a lot of clips that I like to save just to maybe like I'll use in a future nostalgia video or something. But I had lost all of that, and I was really sad. And to cope with that, I spent the next 4 days basically playing NBA 2K20 for like 9 hours a day. So yeah, that is my story. And I guess like looking back on it now, it's fine. I ended up refilming my clips for the video contest, and it was fine. But losing all of the clips from the day trip was really hard for me, because I like to look back on these kind of trips and like these videos and these clips because I'm a very nostalgic person, and I like to look back on memories. And I was super, super excited to like try and make one of these more cinematic style videos. I had some music that I was already planning on using. And overall, I was just very excited, but like that happened and I got really sad. But again, like looking back on it, it's fine now. Like I was really unhappy with myself because it's something I could have prevented if I was more careful and like really gave that some thought, like, oh, this hard drive only has 128 gigs. Maybe it's not the hard drive I'm trying to wipe, But, it is what it is. You can't really do anything about it. Just move on. And at the end of the day, the memories of the trip, I hope, will still be here for a long time. And I don't really need an actual video to like look back on and remember them. Hopefully, you know, going back through my journal and just remembering the time, it will be good enough for me. So, yeah, that was a long story. I'm taking another break now. So the next thing that I've been thinking about, I've recently started this book called When Breath Becomes Air by the author Paul Kalanithi. I don't know how to pronounce his last name, but it's basically, so the author was a neurosurgeon who was an English literature major in his undergraduate studies. But basically, the book is about his quest to find like the intersection between like the meaning of life itself, and death. And it's a pretty, I'm only like halfway through the book right now, but it's very thought provoking, and it's really crazy when you really like think about, you know, the purpose of life, the meaning of life. And it's a huge topic, of course, to talk about. But I've been thinking lately, like, Dr. Kalanithi kind of found his purpose through, I guess, it's finding like the relationships between doctors and patients in the midst of death, essentially, and how you kind of navigate that. And it's made me think about like kind of what my purpose is and what I want to be doing with my life. It's that whole like, you know, if you knew when you were gonna die, like how would you live differently? And I've been kind of thinking about that, and I don't have an answer because I really don't know. But it's made me think about like what I want with my life and what I want to be doing, the relationships that I've been kind of creating, and like what I want to do with that. And I don't know, I guess like, yeah, it's it's hard to articulate in words. I'm not very good with words in the first place, but here, I will try. I think what I think of as my purpose in life is something along the lines of trying to, I don't, it's just so hard to explain. Again, well, this video is just a jumble of my thoughts anyways, so what I think about with my purpose in life is how I can make life more enjoyable for other people and for myself. I think when I think about like the things that give me the most fulfillment and like gratitude would be when I'm able to enjoy the things that I do, but also like help others enjoy the things they're doing. If I can make other people smile or make their day just a little bit better, I think that's a lot of what I feel my purpose is. And I struggle to find kind of how that intersects with music, with what I'm pursuing and my career goals. Especially right now, like in my studies, I feel like my music really doesn't really impact that many people, or it doesn't impact as many people as I want it to. And you can see my toes. Like I can see how, assuming I am successful in my goals and in my career, that like how my music making can impact other people. There's this quote that I don't know exactly how it goes, but it's something like, while we as musicians are not like actual doctors, we can't physically save people's lives, but our version of like the ER room or like a surgery or whatever is like if someone comes into the concert hall at 7 p.m. one night and they feel lost and they don't know what their purpose in life is, and they don't know like what they're doing, then it is our job as musicians to fill them with something, to give them that something, and that's how we save lives. And I think that's a very powerful thing, but it's hard for me to understand how me right now as a student, as a music student studying music, how that really comes to be, or like how I impact others that way. So, yeah, I don't know. I think at the end of the day, especially like with the career or with my career, I just want to make people happy, or not necessarily happy, but I want to make people, enjoy something, or like I want to fill people with something. Yeah, that works, I guess. Okay, break time. I really don't know what I'm saying, honestly. They're just a bunch of thoughts that I have in my brain. This smoothie is really good, though. Can we all get a round of applause for my long-haired counterpart for making such a bomb smoothie? Really appreciate the little things he does for me. Alright, another thing that I've been thinking about lately is kind of how we as people can change over time and not really like realize it. Let me give you some context. The other day, a friend and I were talking about our personality types, and I retook my Myers-Briggs test, and I'm an ENFP. But what was really interesting to me is that even though those overarching letters have not changed, like the percentages have changed. The N, F, and P were kind of pretty similar to what they were before, but there were slight changes in percentages. But the huge drastic change was in my extroverted versus introverted spectrum. I used to be something like a 76% E, but that changed to like 54% E, which surprised me a lot actually, but it makes a lot of sense. Last time I took this test was before I went to college, so just that context out there. I thought it was very interesting that I had changed that much without really even realizing it. And there's another conversation about like how much you read into these kinds of tests and what they like mean to you and how you take them. But I think at some level there was truth behind that, and I have become a lot more introverted than extroverted. I attribute that to college and just the fact that I spent so much time by myself throughout my first year. And I like really just didn't do much with other people. But I don't think that's really a bad thing. I used to be the kind of person that absolutely loathed being by myself. I hated doing anything like on my own. Like I would call people at night when I was doing homework, even if like we weren't gonna talk. Like just to have someone on the screen there with me, I thought was a lot better than having to do stuff by myself. So that's the kind of person I used to be. But now, like I'm more okay just sitting down and doing things by myself. I don't feel the need to, find other people to do stuff with anymore. And I think that's pretty freeing and it's a pretty cool thing, in my opinion. I was discussing this with another person yesterday, and they were telling me that they found that as most people get older, they do become more introverted, and I think that's pretty interesting. I don't really know, like, if that is true for me personally, but I think it was really cool to think about. And while we're like talking about introversion, extroversion, and me and my friends, there was a video I'd watched a couple months ago by this YouTuber Victoria Garrick, and she was talking. She made a video kind of like this, like just a jumble of her thoughts and stuff. But she had mentioned one of the things that she had learned during quarantine that was really huge for her, like life changing for her, was how she thought about like friends and friend groups and whatnot. And I'm gonna take a break because this is a good smoothie. Cliffhanger, haha. Okay. Also, I'm just gonna give you a hug. Hug. Okay, so. Oh! I hit my back on the bed. Okay. So, basically, she was talking about how in college she had this idea that she had to be part of this friend group that was always hanging out every weekend, was always talking in their group chat, and was doing all this kind of stuff. Like they posted all the time on Instagram about each other and stuff like that. But she had discovered that like through quarantine and like the past few months, she really realized like she didn't need that, and that's something that was kind of being it was kind of a toxic mindset for herself, where she was always trying to kind of create that kind of atmosphere. But she was saying that like she realized she really only needed like her 5 closest girls that aren't even like friends with each other, but like they are friends to her, and that's all she kind of needed. Like she didn't need this group of people that hung out all the time and that was always talking in a group chat or whatever. And I was thinking about that, and like her saying that made me realize that I was very much the same. When I was in high school, I thought that I felt like I wasn't really like truly part of a friend group. I felt like I was part of like, I guess you could say like I wasn't part of a deep friend group. I was in many friend groups, but like on a surface kind of level. I was never really close to anyone in band. All of my friends that I'm really close to are more orchestra people, and they all grew close because of orchestra and trips, like orchestra trips and stuff. But I know I was never there and stuff, so I never really felt like I truly belonged in that group, and I never felt like I truly belonged in band either, because I kind of hated band at the end. But I felt like not really super belonging to a group was hard for me, because I felt like I wasn't really part of a group. I felt like kind of alone, I guess. Towards the end of high school, like at the end of senior year, I would say like I identified with being part of a friend group, and I belong with this group of people. And I really do care about these people. They care about me, and I love hanging out with them and stuff. So there's that. But I think I really realized that, especially in quarantine, like not being able to see people is totally fine for me now. Like I do well with video calling and chatting and texting. So I've realized that like meeting up in person, while I do prefer doing that, is not super necessary for me anymore. Like it's not something that I absolutely need. I am fine with the people that I'm very close to, and while they may not be all close to each other, what matters is that like I have that connection to them, and I know that when I need them, they are there for me. I don't know if I communicated that very well. I don't really think I did, but this video is quite long now, and was a lot longer than I was expecting it to be. But yeah, I just wanted to share a lot of thoughts that have been on my mind lately, and I don't know. I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments. If you have any opinions or whatever, just let me know. I would love to read them. You can even share with me what drink or snack you have been consuming over the past 23 minutes. This mango pineapple thing is really good. But anyways, that's all I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed this video, and yeah, that's it. See you on Thursday. Alright, bye.